thank you for joining us here today on this very, very blustery day at Epcot. Welcome to the International Festival of the Arts. How are we all doing? Awesome. Well, my name is Sarah. I'm so excited to meet you all today. I've been a concept artist and illustrator with Disney Live Entertainment and Walt Disney Imagineering for about 5 years now. So I get to work on all kinds of super fun projects around our parks, resorts, cruise line, and all over the world with Disney. Now today, we are actually going to go all over the world and draw one of my absolute favorite characters. You may not know him yet, but by the end of our half hour together, hopefully you'll love him as much as I do. Does anyone know Duffy the Disney bear? Yes, oh, I love it. So Duffy actually, did anyone get to go to Moonlight Magic recently this week? Anybody going to the upcoming Moonlight Magic? Yes, you'll get to see Duffy there because he came all the way back here. He used to be at Epcot, but he visits all of our parks around the world, and he's a really, really cute sailor bear that actually Minnie made for Mickey, so he would always have a companion on his travels. So let's learn how to draw him. Let's get started. Does everyone have everything they need? Papers, pencils? Are we missing anything on our pencils? Eraser, that's okay. We are going to not panic. We are not going to freak out. We are not even going to need an eraser because we're going to start drawing so lightly that maybe even your neighbor can't see it super well. But as we continue drawing, we're going to draw darker and darker lines as we kind of find our favorites. And then by the time we finish drawing, all of those lines that we don't like so much will just fade away into the background and we'll be left with an awesome drawing. Sound good? Woo. All right, let me show you guys Duffy so you get an idea. Can you even see that? Nope, can't even see it. All right, we're going blind. Or actually, we're gonna be risky. I'm gonna untape my model sheet and we're gonna hope that a gust of wind does not blow it into the unknown. So this is Duffy. There we go. This is a model sheet or a reference sheet. This is something that we always use when we're drawing or animating a character to make sure that it stays what's called on model, which means it looks consistent from drawing to drawing and artist to artist. So this is Duffy. He's a really precious little bear. Like I said, Minnie made him for Mickey, so that way when he was sailing around the world, he would always have a friend and companion to keep him company. So we are going to start our drawing, as most good drawings start, with a circle. We're going to start with about maybe a little bit bigger than a ping pong ball size circle right towards the top of your paper. Not all the way to the top because we want to make sure we leave room for his ears. Perfect, okay. And we're going to start with a lot of what are called construction lines. And those are just really light lines that are going to help us figure out where all of the different parts and pieces of Duffy go and help us make sure that everything is in correct proportion to each other. So we are going to start with a vertical construction line right down the center of his head. And it's going to be arced just a little tiny bit to the right because he's got his head tilted just a tiny bit. And then kind of the same thing, we're going to do a horizontal line. It's arced just a tiny, tiny bit downwards. And then we can start indicating where his eyes and nose and mouth are going to go. So we're going to create that big muzzle shape around. So we're going to start right at the intersection of our horizontal and vertical lines and just draw another circle right in there. And then draw even a smaller oval just underneath that line. And that's where his nose goes. Then we're going to draw two additional larger circles on either side of this big circle. Now they're going to overlap and go underneath this horizontal guideline a little bit, and they're a little bit oval shaped too. So then they'll go up about 2/3 of the way up the top half of more circle. And you can do one on either side. And they should overlap that center circle just a little tiny bit. Now, do those 3 circle shapes look familiar to anybody? Looks like Mickey, that's right. Now, all of Duffy and his friends, he has so many friends, all of their designs have a lot of hidden Mickeys in them because they are designed with Mickey in mind. Now we can go ahead and start adding in his mouth. So we're gonna do 2 little U shapes coming down that center line, right underneath his nose. Then we can add a 3rd U shape, connecting those 2 for his mouth. Then we can put in his eyes. So they're going to rest right on top of that horizontal guideline, and they're just 2 little circles that live inside our larger circles. They're kind of close together. Then we can put in his ears. So he's got really cute big teddy bear ears. So about just a little bit up from our horizontal guideline, we're going to do 2 big C shapes. We're going to do one and then another one inside to show the inside of the ear. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. C shape, and then a smaller C shape inside. It's the wind. You can't talk when it's windy. And then since he's got his cute little sailor hat on, we can go ahead and draw that. So we're going to start with an L shape, just a little bit to the right of that vertical guideline. We're going to draw a vertical line and then make it a big long sideways L across that just tucks behind that ear. And then a little rainbow shape on top for the top of his hat. Awesome. Everybody feeling good so far? Yeah. All right, then let's go ahead and we can start adding in our reference for his body. So he's got a really cute little jelly bean shaped torso, and we often measure characters when we're drawing them in head heights. So Duffy is just a little tiny bit over 2 heads tall. So if you kind of take your fingers and you measure how tall you drew your Duffy head, and then move it down a little bit, and then make a little guide mark right at the bottom there, that's about how long his torso is going to be. We're going to draw another circle right there. And we're going to draw really, really lightly for this part because he's got a little sailor outfit on. So this is just going to help us describe the body, and then we'll put the clothes on top. So we can draw 2 connecting lines that go down about that far through across the face. And then we're going to draw a reference line that, just like this line, is curved just a little bit down our little body, because his torso is tilted a little bit that way. Then we can start indicating where his legs go. So we're going to draw 2 vertical lines coming down from the bottom of his torso, and then a little squashed oval for his foot. That's not our final foot, but that's just going to tell us where it goes. And same thing over here. 2 lines. And all of Duffy's shapes are really soft, so that's going to be a nice smooth curve down the side of him and into the foot. And at this connection point between the foot and the leg, we want to make sure that's a really nice soft curve and not a sharp angle. Do the same thing over here. Just make sure that it's a really nice soft curve connecting the foot with the leg. Now I can go ahead and put in his arms. So he's going to have one arm up, waving hello to Mickey. So we can start with a guideline for his hand. So we can put his little little circular hand out here, and then we're gonna draw 2 arcs to connect it back to his shoulder. Now, since Duffy has a teddy bear paw rather than a hand like us, his wrist doesn't go in and back out when it's an arm. It's all one big straight line. And then he's got a little half circle on the inside of his paw. And then he's got 2 stitch marks for fingers. And we'll do kind of the same thing on the other side with this arm he's gonna have down. So we'll draw our circle for where the hand's gonna go. And then 2 arcs to connect those. And same idea over here. We'll do a half circle for his palm. Then 2 little stitch marks for his hands. Awesome, so now we can put his little sailor outfit on. So we're gonna draw right underneath his chin a little V shape. That's gonna be the collar of his shirt. And then we're gonna draw 2 additional lines on either side to further tell us how the collar shape works. Then we're gonna draw a little square underneath for the knot in his little sailor tie. And then we can draw 2 leaf shapes or soft diamond shapes underneath that for the ties on his little scarf. And then we get to draw his shirt. So starting right at this line, we're going to go out a little bit from the body. And then we can draw a little U shape to describe how the shirt tucks behind Duffy's little body. And then we're going to draw a really soft arc across his torso. And do the same thing on the other side. Just tuck that back behind. And then bring it back up. We're going to do a similar idea on the sleeves of his little shirt. So we're going to draw an arc about halfway down his arm. That same thing, do U shape to wrap that sleeve back behind. And then extend that line back to his elbow. That same thing on the other side. Now, Duffy himself is not at Epcot, but he is represented somewhere in the park, and you can go see him today, right now. Does anyone know where it is? Okay. Yes, he is in Japan. He is part of our Chock Full of Characters artwork showcase that we have created for you guys. It's all of our favorite Disney characters hidden in places around Epcot, but especially in World Showcase. So you can actually see Duffy and his friend Gelatoni as part of that art showcase in Japan. But make sure to visit all of our countries. You can see some of your other favorite characters as well. And he's got a little stripe on each sleeve. All right, so now we've got all of our parts and pieces in, so we can go in and really clean up Duffy and make him the cutest bear ever. So we're gonna start by adding, because he's a really soft teddy bear, we're gonna puff out his cheeks a little bit and make them nice and round and adorable. When we're drawing fur or teddy bear fluff or anything like that, we always wanna do clumps of uneven sizes and shapes, because something like this is more interesting to look at than things that are all the same size and shape. And that also makes it feel a lot more organic. So we're gonna do a little bit of fluff on top of his head as well, and on either side of his cheeks. We're gonna put a little bit on top of that C shape that we drew inside his ears previously. And we can also start shading at this point too. So if you want to shade something really smoothly, you can tilt your pencil a little bit. use the side of your pencil and that'll get it nice and smooth. So I'm gonna go in and darken the areas that I like around his eyes and start shading in his eyeballs. Darken the outside of his ears. And shade in his nose. You can shade a little bit inside his mouth too. I just added a little mark across to show where his tongue is. And we'll do the same thing. Just continue all over your Duffy, darkening in your favorite lines. Making sure everything looks good. Shading in anything you want to shade in. I'm going to shade in his little neck scarf. And he's also got a little decorative stripe on top of his hat too. So you can go ahead and add that in. Just stepping back and looking at everything and making sure everything looks good and he looks like Duffy. Got 2 stripes on each sleeve. And then we can also add some little U-shapes down here to show how his little neck scarf interacts with the collar of his shirt. That line really dark to show how his shirt interacts with his chin, and I'm going to just shade in his cheeks a little bit because I think that's cute. And now it is the most important part of our drawing. We have to sign and date it. Yeah, we have to write the date on it. So that way, when you find it a couple years from now, you remember where it came from and hopefully how much fun you had today. And that is how to draw Duffy the Disney Bear. All right, thank you all. Can I see everybody's? All right, come over here. Was it great? Yeah, can I see it? Still working on it, that's okay. Looks great. Oh, so cute. Amazing. Very good. Yours looks awesome. So cute. Adorable.